Okay, guys, so this is the reflection for Module 5. And the first question is what were your 3 favorite websites? And for sure, my favorite that I came across was the oercommons.org for the open educational resources. And what I really liked about it was the way their interface for searching for information or for study guides or lesson plans and whatnot. It's simple. It's extensive. There's just on any subject, any paper, any author, whatever you're looking for, there is something there. Not that I would want to go through and just grab one and just take it as a lesson plan, but there's lots of resources to build your own from some existing ones already. And I think I'll probably be using this a lot in the future. And it's just very intuitive, very easy to use. I know that there were a couple other OERs like Merlot, but I just thought that the OER Commons was the easiest to use, and I was very pleased with it. I also really loved Brain Pop, and I know that I'm planning on teaching high school, and that it's a little simpler, but they had some videos on literature about themes and tone and genres and even some specific authors. And I think that maybe some students would find it a little boring because it does seem like something that you would maybe show to younger kids, but they do a really good job of explaining some pretty complex themes and topics. And I like some of the resources they have, not so much some of the games. I do think it's geared for a younger audience than I plan to teach, but I think there's a lot of very useful tools in the Brain Pop website. And then the other website that I thought was most useful is definitely Quia. Just all the things that you can make on it. You don't need to go to a bunch of different websites to make different quizzes or games or flashcards or whatever you want. You can just keep you can make like a quiz or some flashcards, and you can just keep expanding on that same one over time and tweaking it rather than just writing a new one every year or semester or what have you. I think that I don't know that it's the best looking website. I don't know that it's the most engaging for students. I don't think that it's one that they on their own would love, but I think it's probably the most useful as far as in-class studying. I think it's an easy way to help students learn how to study, which is something that I know I struggled with in high school. And I think there's a lot of value in all the activities that Quia allows you to make. I think what I like the most about Quia, and I guess this goes on to the second question of is that something you think you can use as a teacher? I definitely do think that it is useful as a teacher. Not all the games, not everything is going to be used in every class, but being able to make flashcards for your students, kind of help them know what they need to be studying. I suppose that's what I think would be most useful about it, not necessarily for in-class assignments, but to be able to say, if you want to study for the test, here's a paper study guide, and here are some activities that you can do to study for whatever quiz or test we're going to be doing. Especially, I know in high school, at least when I was in high school, we really pushed learning our Latin roots and our prefixes and suffixes, which, takes some serious studying. You can't just sit through class and get all those memorized. So I think making flashcards and quizzes and games and puzzles for things like that, or chapter quizzes in a book we might be reading, are good ways to help students study. It's not quite as graphically interesting as a website like Brain Pop, but I really like the programs and just the activities that you can make on Quia, and then of course being able to have it all in one place, being able to communicate with other teachers, see what other teachers are making, and being able to share all of the activities you make. I think that's very useful, and I'd be excited to see how much I use that in the future. I went through all of the open educational resource websites, and let's see, what was the specific question? After searching the OER repositories, were you able to find any resources useful for your classroom? Absolutely. I talked a lot about it already with oercommons.org, which I thought was the best. I think what's nice about having a variety of OERs at your disposal is one of them, such as the OER Commons, has a lot of slideshows. I noticed, or summaries of stories and whatnot, and then some other ones like Merlot had some actual more of actual lesson plans. I found, at least with some of the things I was searching for, at least just going off of stories and authors I know that we studied in high school. And I think that I don't see how I couldn't use it in the future, especially as an early teacher. The first several years, you're not an expert in making lesson plans. You haven't been enough I won't have been in enough classrooms to know what students respond best to, what they enjoy the most, and I have just endless resources from other teachers of things they've been using, and I just can't imagine a scenario where that isn't useful.